Hey everyone, this is a movie review for the animated movie They Were 11, brought to us by US Manga Corp and Central Park Media. Yeah, why am I showing you that, right? You can't even say it. But this movie is rated 13 and up, and this is a DVD that you're supposedly not able to get because it came out in 2004 and is out of print. I will tell you that you can go on Amazon and you can get it for pretty cheap, probably under 10 bucks. That's how I got mine. This and another video that I'll be covering from US Manga Corp in the near future. Very near future, actually, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. This movie was released in the US in the 90s in two forms. In the early 90s, this movie was only in subtitled form. That's how I saw this originally. In 96, it was released with an English dub format, which is the version that I watched on this DVD. Now, I'm going to give you essentially the roll call of the names, and I'm going to focus on the two names in particular for the course of this review. Well, maybe three. Actually, four. Yeah, I know it went higher, didn't it? Todo, T-O-D-O. He's a telepath. He was sent by his mentor from his home planet to try and get into the Galactic Academy, which is why everybody that takes the exam is shooting for. Frohl, I'll save her for last. I'll explain why. King, he's actually a prince, and he's pretty much a royal prick. I'll tell you that right now. Then you got fourth. Gongo's an interesting one because, well, he's a cyborg. Well, sorta, kinda cyborg. Get that in a minute. We have Amazon, New. I think that was the fish dude, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that was Amazon. I'll get those mixed up. I already see that coming. Thickhead, Red Nose. Red Nose was interesting because literally he's called that because his nose was red. Toto, and Choco. By the way, for those of you who are fans of anime nowadays, the name Wendy Lee, Wendlee, may actually ring a bell to you, because you may have seen like Haruhi Suzumiya or Lucky Star and Konata Izumi. I believe that's who did the voice acting for the character. I'm not sure. Totally sure. Anyway, so what exactly is this about? Oh, by the way, I should break this up. I should tell you this now. Frohl is a Hermie, in case you're wondering, hermaphrodite. Getting that in a minute. Every one of these people are going to be put on a ship for 53 days. The 53 days is significant because it is the amount of time that the ship would orbit around the planet. Now, for those of us who are wondering, it's about a month and 23 days. But there's only supposed to be 10 people per group. In this case, there were 11. Now, I'm going to let you be the judge. Of the 11 names that I read off of this list right here, which I'll show you again, if you can read my writing, what one of the 11 do you think was the saboteur? or the person who was scheduled to wreak havoc? Well, that was partly their job to find. Also, just see could they last a month and 23 days without trying to kill each other, and trying to figure out who is the 11th man or woman, well, or person in general. Now, everybody was on this ship for a reason. In Toto's case, it was to try and to see if he can get into the academy. That was his main reason for being on the ship, period. But he just wanted to, get into the academy. Frohl had a completely different reason. See, Frohl was a country bumpkin because the accent was literally like she was from down south. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But despite the fact that she had long blonde hair, she wore lipstick, when you saw her with no shirt on, she had no. Look, she had no. Okay. She was essentially a he, which was discovered by one of the characters when she went to go take a shower and they walked in behind her after she said, "We need to. I need to turn the water on, or there's no water pressure in here." And say stuff hit the fan. There was another Hermie on that ship too, by the way, if you're interested. The interesting thing about it was Toto is a telepath. So he will be able to psychically find out things for anybody else. Would you believe there's actually 2 on there? Who was the second? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. The objective is 53 days, or if it's getting a little too much in there for them, they could hit a red button, which is called the panic button, which stops the exam outright. Doesn't necessarily mean they failed or passed yet. To outright pass, you would have to last all 53 days. But there was going to be some bigger problems. For example, before the exam rightfully ever began, well, there was bombs on the ship that had already exploded. And they were going to have a problem with a virus called spotted fever, which it's revealed that because of a immunization at a young age, Toto was immune to it. But everybody else could potentially suffer from it. The one key to stopping the virus was to find some source to have a weaker form of the virus that could make an antidote and make everybody else immune to it. And that was going to be the tricky part. Because there was no animals on the ship, no rats or anything. Plenty of bombs, though. Now, when the movie starts, or when the exam starts, it's 53 days. I'd say by about the 15-minute mark, well, they were about halfway done. They were halfway done that, because they were down to about 25 days to the end. When you watch the movie subtitled or subbed, and when you watch it from the original 90s version, if you've never seen it before, it will completely spook the hell out of you if you don't know what you're expecting. Unfortunately, I had the pleasure of watching this movie before, so I kind of knew what to expect, so it didn't really shock me as much as it was supposed to. But nonetheless, it was still fun. It's still I think, a good movie to watch. But I will say this. I'm going to tell you this now. They do give you two options on the DVD. Do you want to watch in English with song subtitles, or do you want to watch in Japanese with the English? Now, I watched the English dub for this movie. I'm going to mention a problem that you will notice if you pick this movie up, and you can get it for cheap, by the way. If you look on Amazon through Marketplace, you might be able to get it for like less than like $5 to $10. I'll have to double check to see how much I actually paid for it, but I know it wasn't that much. It was like so stupidly cheap it wasn't even funny. But yeah, you can get it for really, really cheap if you want to. The movie's animation actually holds up really well, which is surprising because what you may not know is the movie actually came out. Believe it or not, it was a TV special in 1977, and it was a film in 1986. So think about that. The movie in reality has been around for about 25 years, if longer. And when it was put on DVD, it looks even better than what it did when. Obviously, it looks better than when it first came out, but you're not going to notice that it was that old a movie. Now, of course, if you're a purist, you're going to watch it in subtitled form, which I should also mention this. If you watch it in English with the song subtitles, they do not subtitle any of the Japanese text for like most of the intro. But here's the funny part. They do subtitle the introduction to the movie as far as the prologue of what you're going of the background. But the voiceover does not match the subtitles 100%, which is in English, by the way. So you're reading it, and you're reading and they're telling you are two different things. Because they'll either omit words or they'll say it differently, and you're looking at it like, wait a minute. Not that that's a problem, but it will throw you off if you're trying to read it along with the speaker and you're going, wait a minute, dude. "91 minutes, so it's about an hour and 30 minutes, 31 minutes. It don't feel like an hour and 31 minutes. And there's about, 10, 11 chapters, as it says in the movie. Will they go boom, 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 boom? You want to tell the movie plainly, slow down! But it's a roller coaster because you're trying to figure out, along with the people, who's the 11th man? Who is the person that is potentially causing all the problems? The 11th person does reveal themselves when the result happens for the exam. And I'm not telling you if they fail or pass, but along with revealing who they are, they also apologize for some of the mishaps, i.e. the bombs that went off in there, because they didn't expect that. Because when the bombs went off, the ship actually goes out of orbit, which causes an even bigger problem. Which I'm not going to get into. Oh, I will mention this. For those of you who are interested, the temperature of the, and this was just like a minor thing that I noticed, and I think it's actually kind of neat. The temperature of the ship was done in centigrade or Celsius, whichever way you want to call it. If, I'll mention this, if the ship hit 40 degrees centigrade, they would have a serious problem. I mean, a serious problem. What? Not telling. You're going to have to watch the movie for yourself. Now, could you find this on YouTube? You know, you might be able to if you look hard enough, but you shouldn't have to. I mean, this movie's cheap enough that I say just buy the actual copy. Oh, one other thing before I forget. This, along with the humanoid, which I'll be doing later, is, I'm not going to show you the back, but it actually reads on here, all, as in all region. So, no matter where you buy this, if you buy it in the US, if you buy it in Canada, if you buy it in Japan, if you buy it in England, if you buy it in Malaysia, if you buy it in Sealand, if you buy it in or Sigonia, and yes, those are real countries, I didn't just make those up out of my head. If you buy it in any area, you can watch this movie. Same thing goes with the humanoid, which we'll probably review tomorrow, because that's only going to take 45 minutes. Yeah, that's half of this. Again, I'm going to say it. For this being 91 minutes, it actually felt like it was paced like a 45-minute movie, because you're literally going boom, boom, boom and like you go from, I'm telling you, you go from like 53 days to half that in 10 minutes. And I'm sitting there watching the movie and I'm going, slow down! We gotta cover an hour and a half, kids. Nonetheless, for the $10 that I paid or so for this little beauty, I do suggest that you pick it up. It is rated 13 up, so it's not for the little kiddies. And plus, even I think the idea of having hermaphrodites involved might scare off the wee ones. But I will tell you again, if you pick this up cheap, or even if you find it for the regular retail of $30, do so. You'll enjoy it. Scale 1 to 10. I'm gonna give it a 9. And yeah, I'm deducting the points mainly for the fact that the speaking and the subtitle kind of were thrown off. Oh, by the way, the other subtitles that are involved, if you're watching English, are the song titles, obviously. But if you do watch this movie, when you load it up and you go right to the DVD menu, it has a really, really kicking song that you may want to go look for if you can find it on YouTube or somewhere, or an MP3 if you so choose to try that. But yeah, go pick this up sometime. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyways, you have a good one. I shall talk to you later.